Urgent task. Beastmen tribe? Lorik says while reading the name of the task aloud. It lets me view its description even before accepting the task. Is that because it's a solo task or an urgent task? He thinks as he reads the description. Its requirements are to scout or hunt a Beastman tribe in the evergreen forest. It says the rewards are dependent on the completion. However, it warns that there are only 2 weeks to accept and complete the task. That and the Beastmen are dangerous, each equal to a 7th tier lesser mage. As such, it warns that freshmen shouldn't accept this task. Beastmen? I wonder if they'll be as useful as beasts? Lorik thinks before smiling and clicking accept. The urgent task disappears from the listing, only allowing one person to accept it. As soon as he does, his communication bracelet vibrates. He turns it on, and a map of the forest appears. It lists the places where the beastmen were sighted. Perfect. I should have enough food. If not, I can always scavenge again. Lorik says with a too happy smile as he leaves the task table. As he leaves the task center, he messages Vera saying he's accepted a new task. He tells her the time limit is 2 weeks, but he might return earlier. The evergreen forest is still as dense as ever. The map of the Beastman sightings leads him deeper into the woods than he's ever gone before. Leaving the familiar woods behind and losing all trace of civilization fills Lorik with excitement. To him who spent his childhood in these woods scavenging, he finds the trees and nature calm and relaxing. As he walks down the path, a small patch of blue moss called mana moss catches his eyes. He stops to gather it, as it's a common yet vital alchemy ingredient. Now that he has a silver-grade alchemy set, he's looking forward to brewing more potions. It takes him an hour to get to the closest sighting location. Once there, he enters into a small clearing. The clearing is only about 10 feet wide and overgrown with grass. Lorik examines it and uses his law of the hunt. It slowly seeps out of him and fills the clearing. Good, they are like beasts, he says after his law finds traces of the beastmen. He can sense their footprints through the grass. As he does, various traits of the beastmen enter his mind. The law of the hunt analyzes the beastmen from their aura left behind. From their aura, he can tell it's been a few days since they passed through here. It's not perfect, but it gives a vague idea of what they can do. Lorik clicks his tongue as it does. They have keen senses of smell. I'll need to do something to mask mine. Lorik thinks before looking around. No one's around, so he strips down. He stores his school uniform in one of his rings before taking out another change of clothes. This one is old, with a huge hole on the side of his brown-stained shirt. His once white, now gray shorts are frayed and look ready to rip. He puts them on before walking back the way he came. There he comes to a river before stopping at the bank. He looks for mud and quickly finds it. After finding it, he smears it along his skin and clothes, covering himself in it. For added measure, he sticks some nearby plants into the mud before it dries. This way, his scent will be covered by the scent of the plants. After covering up in the mud, Lorik heads back to the clearing. He tracks the beastmen and finds that there are 5 of them. It takes him another 3 hours to track them back through the woods. After 3 hours, he finds their camp. There's a small fire going in the center of it. Lorik climbs a nearby tree before crawling along a branch. The tree is over 20 feet tall and has thick branches. Each branch is thicker than Lorik's body. He rests on his stomach before looking toward the camp. There are 4 large tents made of animal fur. They're held up by sticks embedded in the ground. The camp is surrounded by a wall made of fences stacked together. The camp is 10 feet away from the closest tree, but has branches going above it. There are 4 beastmen in the center of the camp. They look like a mixture of wolves and humans. They're about 5 feet even and have very muscular frames. Their entire bodies are covered in gray fur. They have wolf ears and matching tails. Each of them wears clothes crudely stitched together and made from animal fur and hides. From their auras, Lorik could tell none of them were the 5 he was tracking. 2 beastmen holding crude bows made of carved wood and twine are standing watch. They slowly walk around the camp fence with their eyes on the woods. Are the other 5 out? I can sense 4 more inside the tents. That makes 10 here, and the other 5 bring it to 15. Could they have died, though? The aura is too mixed at the camp, so I can't track it back. I'll have to wait and watch for now. They don't seem to have good weaponry, though they have their claws and strength. Lorik thinks before waiting on the branch. Time flies by as he watches. The beastmen by the fire are roasting meat. They take it off and eat before returning to the tents. After a few hours as the sun starts to set, 5 beastmen return to camp. They're the 5 he tracked back here. They're carrying rabbits and a deer. Once inside, they pass their game to another beastman before entering the tents. Lorik climbs down an hour after their return. He carefully leaves the camp and finds a hollowed tree. He carves a small entryway into it before crawling in. He sleeps the night away there before waking up. After eating a quick breakfast of smoked meat, he carefully leaves the tree. It's near a river, so he rinses off, ensuring the meat's scent disappears. Then he reapplies the mud to himself and his clothes. He returns to the same tree and watches the camp. He doesn't move the entire day. He just waits up on the branch and observes. During the day, the beastmen only leave their camp twice. The first group leaves in the morning. They return in the afternoon with more hunted animals. The second group sets out at the same time the first returns. They don't get back until nightfall, just like yesterday. Lorik returns to his tree and sleeps again. After replying to the mud, he returns to the branch. He does the same as yesterday and observes the camp. The day is the same as the day before. The beastmen who hunt in the morning and afternoon are the same. The other 5 only take turns guarding the camp and cooking. After observing for so long, he notices that the 5 who stay behind are all women. I wonder, the beastmen eat a lot of meat. What would happen if they couldn't get any meat? Lorik thinks to himself as the second group returns. He leaves the tree early and starts hunting. He hunts any and all beasts that he comes across. In total, he slays 3 rabbits, a boar, and a deer. Instead of getting some sleep, he washes the blood off before applying the mud. Then it's back up the tree and to the branch he goes. The beastmen leave to go hunting in the morning as usual, but when they return, they only have 1 rabbit. The beastmen hunters start communicating after returning. There's growling and barking, their own form of communication. After a while, the second group leaves. This time the 5 from the first group join them. All 10 left the camp. The women beastmen don't seem to be as strong as the men. It shouldn't be a problem to take them all out now. But what about when they return? Let's follow them. Lorik thinks before climbing off the tree. He tracks the beastmen hunters who just left until they split up. As soon as he sees them split, he smiles. Perfect. Now to observe a bit longer before setting this plan in action. He thinks before returning to the tree. He observes the camp again, seeing any changes in it without the men. Now the women on guard seem more anxious. They move faster and hold their weapons tighter. It's a small change, but it doesn't slip past Lorik's eye. 9 more days pass in a blur for Lorik. He spends every waking moment fixated on the beastmen. He starts following the hunters on the 5th day. On the 7th day, he notices they've broken the nearby woods into sections. Each hunting group takes the next section from yesterday. They maintain opposite sections from the other, ensuring they don't enter the other group's section. On the 9th day, he's ready to strike. He spends the 8th day resting and sleeping. On the 8th day's night, he wakes up and hunts down every beast he can. By the time morning comes and the first beastman group heads out, he's hunted all animals and monsters nearby. Unbeknownst to him, all this hunting has increased his level. Lorik is now an 8-tier lesser mage. He returns to the camp and waits until noon. Once the first group returns empty-handed, both groups head out. The women are left alone, and Lorik follows the groups. After they split, he follows the second group. He's prepared traps for this group, but not the other. The first group won't return until night, but if the first group falls into a trap, they might return early, so he's going to finish them off last. They've also been up longer, as they normally sleep after returning. This is why he chose to hunt the second group with traps. A bit closer. Lorik whispers to himself while drawing a bow. He had bought it as a kid to hunt animals before gaining the strength to do so with a sword. But his arrow is his soul sword. He's able to freely change his sword's shape. Usually he just makes the sword straight, but he's able to make it curved, thin, or even turn it into a rapier. Now he's made it short and thin. The guard is almost non-existent. The Beastmen walk in pairs, with the last one behind the others. They leave a few feet between each other. The two in the lead suddenly fall as they step into a pitfall. There's a roar of shock from them before they disappear from view. The two behind run up to look into the pitfall. As they do, 6 spears made of carved branches fly toward them from their front. Lorik rigged them to launch once the pitfall was disturbed. The spears pierce through their fur and kills the two instantly. The last Beastman falls as Lorik's soul sword enters its skull. It disappears as Lorik walks over. Good. They didn't have time to resist or make too much sound. I'm glad the spears were able to pierce them. I was worried that their fur would be tough. I should invest in some proper spears soon. Lorik thinks as he collects the bodies. He stores them in his brown storage ring. Lorik uses this ring to collect the bodies of animals and monsters he hunts. It's been enchanted with an ice law. This allows it to preserve anything inside. It's not as good as the time ring, but it has more storage. Generally speaking, storage rings with additional laws will have less storage than if they didn't have that law. The Beastmen in the pit are already dead. They died from falling on the spears Lorik placed facing up. He walks down a small tunnel he dug out for it. Lorik didn't make this pitfall entirely himself. A giant rabbit, a type of monster, had dug a tunnel here. He just expanded it and made it go all the way to the surface. After collecting the Beastmen, including their blood, he returns to their camp.